Hello, Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. Today, my guest is Keith Hagar. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you.
So, Keith, how are you doing and where are you located and a little bit of background about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm located currently in Athens, in Greece, and my background is for the past 20 years all to do within the health and fitness industry.
Okay.
I've kind of morphed, you could say, through different principles and different things, starting out as just a general gym trainer to personal trainer to studio owner. Then from there, moving into the world of holistic healings in the form of breath work, yoga, um, Reiki, and then also
Okay.
also moving in the other directions in the form of injury prevention and like spinal manipulation, um, soft tissue treatments. So I've been around the block a little
Nice.
bit. Let's say that.
Oh my gosh. So, what got you on this journey?
Good question. Um, I mean, we have to go all the way back. I mean,
Okay.
back in school, I didn't really know what I was gonna be, I was gonna do, and really, like, I had a bit of wobbly upbringing, let's say that, and I kind of just started going to the gym. I just started going to the gym because I was a little bit fat, let's say that, a bit plump on the outside as a younger kid. So I
Okay.
just started going to the gym. I remember it was just one of my best mates. He was just like, let's go to the gym, fatty. And I was like, all right, let's go. I'll try it. And it's funny because
Exactly.
they stopped going and I carried on
Yeah.
going. And then I just kind of fell into because I was there in the gym all the time, the job opportunity come up and I just
Right.
went for it because I enjoyed it. And then it just led on from that and I just started learning. I just found learning everything to do with the body and nutrition and all these different things interesting. So I just
Yes.
focused on that. It's kind of funny. I focus on a lot of education because I didn't leave
Uh-huh.
school with any education
Oh, really? Okay.
at all.
Okay. That works. So,
Yeah.
did you, you said in Athens right now. Is that where you grew up?
No, not at all. I grew up in Oxford, England, um, just outside a
Okay.
little town called Kidlington. That's where I'm originally
Okay.
from. I haven't lived in the UK now for 12, 13 years nearly. Um,
Oh,
so
quite a while.
I'm currently in Athens. My wife's Greek, so we're here, and
Okay.
yeah, not sure we'll be here forever, but you never know.
You never know where life yeah, you don't know where life will take you. So how'd you meet your
Exactly.
wife?
I met my wife in Indonesia and Bali a few years ago now.
Oh,
Um, just
nice.
just through she knew someone, I knew someone. They had a gathering of
Yep.
like the community she was in, and I kind of started getting to know that community, and she was just there one day and we just started talking and that was it really. Um it just kind of
That's
she wasn't she, there wasn't much to it really. I wasn't really looking for anyone. She wasn't really looking for anyone, and we just ended up just hanging
you
out and it just went from there.
yep, and that's usually the way it happens, that's for sure too.
Yeah.
So, so you do, I know you're on Instagram quite a bit. So talk about a little bit about what you do there.
So on Instagram, I have my business, Wholistic Brotherhood, and this is specifically working with men, specifically working to help them regulate their nervous system, to overcome burnout, stress, over anxiety, and the different things that come along with men's struggles. So this is the main area I look at now because coming up from my background, my education, and just talking to people over the years, going to men's circles and looking in these
Okay.
areas, I started realizing men struggle a lot and they don't have a place to connect,
Yes.
to vent,
Yes.
to be able to speak with their struggles or even understand it. I mean, there's been a lot in the world of like women's circles and these things. There isn't a
Right.
lot for men. It's getting better now, but so I started looking and creating and bringing people together. One thing I'm good at is bringing people together. So I slowly started working in that area, and because of my education background and where I've come,
Mhm.
and also my own traumatic experiences, what I've worked through. I haven't worked through all of them, but from the stuff I've worked through, I start being
Mhm.
able to relate to men a lot more and understanding their pain barriers, you could say, because a lot of things
Yeah.
I've been through, I'm not saying I've been through everything, but there's a lot of things I have been through. Um,
Okay.
so it's about, for now, and I know from the nervous system, again, from my education, from
Mhm.
all the all the courses I've done, that it comes from when you're completely out of whack. It's the nervous
Okay.
system, of course.
Interesting.
Underneath it all, there's trauma, but if the system's completely fried, then you're going to react in a certain way. Um, so it's about
Okay.
understanding, educating them. And as I said, I had a client today actually, and we're working through some of his past, and we're working through some breath
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
he said one of the main things he said to me today is like, that I've been struggling myself with this last year or 2 years, like, and these thoughts pop into my head about the suicidal thoughts. And he's like,
Oh,
now
wow.
they're not at the front. Now they're not at the front of my head. They're more at the back of my head, and I can see life
Okay.
better. So I was like, and I was like super happy when he said that. I mean, because I know, and I can see his
Yeah.
face is lighting up because he's starting to understand that he's like, oh, I've been to doctors. I spoke to doctors. They want to put me on pills. They
Uh-huh.
want to do this. They want to do that. And all we've been doing is I've been giving him space to talk and working some somatics and breath work and allow him to calm. And if he needs space to whatever comes up, it comes up. And I just allow it
Perfect.
to be and just allow
Yeah.
him to express. So
Yes.
it's
Important.
this is the thing what I really what really makes my heart sing. And this is, again, coming from my
Awesome.
background, I wish I'd have had this a lot earlier in my own healing
Yeah.
journey.
I'm just glad you're doing it now because it is worldwide, you know,
Hmm.
I mean, men do men open up pretty well?
It depends. They take time, and everyone's character's different. Um,
Sure.
and it depends, like, again, with my clients, because I allow them to speak and I just connect with them on a human level. I'm not reading from a
Right,
book.
right.
I'm not like using the sales tactics or anything
Mhm.
like that. I'm just like, I hear you. This is kind of what that I've been through, so I can relate with you. And I hear roughly what you're struggling with, and this is how I can help. If it works,
Nice.
cool. If you're not ready for it, cool too. So
That's awesome.
it's
So is the program like is there kind of a pathway you take them each person down, or is it's or is it to the individual?
it is individual. I mean, there is things will come up are quite similar to people, but generally, if someone sits down with me and they're talking different things, then I can, through my experience, I can kind of roughly start pinpointing where I'm going to kind of use the tools to take them. So everyone's different, but a lot of
Yes.
time teaching them breath work techniques and educating them to have what comes up. And of course, if they do want to go the other way of looking at, obviously, movement is another thing I use. Again, if they want to go
Okay.
deeper, um, like, again, yoga is something I have, but now it's Pilates. I start using different modalities, and
Mhm.
also coming from the injury background and personal training background, I pull from that as well if needed. So I could say it's a multifaceted approach just because of my
Okay.
education and experience. And
Okay.
and most of the techniques I've practiced on myself. So my body is battle worn, we
Okay,
could
okay.
say, from it. Um, I never, of course, I like to teach by example and lead by example. So I'm not
Sure.
going to say, like, I'm going to give you this exercise. If one, I don't know how to teach, or two, I've never really tried it myself.
Right. I
Um,
hear you.
it's the same if I'm not going to start talking about certain supplements if I don't fully understand it, but there is certain supplements I will talk about. I mean,
Yes.
I stay in my
Yes.
lane where I stay in my lane. I'm not going to say I know
Yep.
everything, 'cause I definitely don't. But the stuff I
Yep.
know, I know.
Yeah. So where did you like breath work, and you said you did Reiki and all those. Where did you learn to do all those?
Different countries. To be honest, I studied my
Okay.
yoga in India, the home of
Oh,
yoga.
wow. Awesome.
So I've got 500 multi style and 200 Kundalini. The Kundalini speaks to me a bit more because there's a lot more to do with
Mhm.
breath and movement. So in the future, I'll do another course on that as well. I've also studied trauma awareness breath work in Goa, which is south of India.
Okay.
I learned Reiki in Bali and also other meditation parts in Bali. And
Okay.
along the way, I've worked with shamans as well.
Oh,
I actually grew
yeah.
up right
Wow, okay.
in my early 20s. I had a shaman kind of guide me gently, and she's still in my life now. So I learned a lot from her, even if I didn't fully understand it back then. So now
Sure.
I understand it. So I've had a few shamans around me in my life. When I was living in Sweden, I had another one there. Um,
Wow.
so I've kind of been blessed with these things, even if I've not really fully
Right.
understood it in the space I was in at the
Sure,
age I was
yeah.
in.
I mean, that's amazing. You've had a lot. I mean, so what I don't know how old you are. What age did you start your journey?
I don't think there's been an exact point where I fully started. I think I've always been on my journey,
Have you
um,
okay.
with, but unconsciously, and been on
Sure.
my journey
Right. I know what you mean.
because growing up, I realize now I've done a lot of work and think like a lot of, I mean, I've done a lot of work on myself. I've done
Yeah.
therapy. I've done a lot of somatics. I've worked with shamans. I've done a lot, but I've had to dig into my past, and my past is pretty dark, to be honest.
Hmm.
So I think looking back, when I look back and I think about it, it's like somehow I don't actually know how I survived, but there's been
Wow.
something, how I've been able to come through it unconsciously. I've been able to save myself somehow. And then a few people have been around to kind of at the right time to kind of guide me and then
Nice.
lead me in the right direction to make me make the bigger choices.
You're an alchemist. If you came from a dark background and you're making it into positives here, so very awesome. So where do you I mean, how do people find if they want to work with you? How do they find you?
Yeah, I mean, they can find me on the socials, Holistic Brotherhood, starts with a W. Social media like Facebook, Instagram. You can find me a little on LinkedIn, but it's more under my name, Keith Hagar. So you can
Okay.
always reach out there. If I have also a support group on WhatsApp, so if anyone's needs a
Nice.
space to speak with
Okay.
other men on the similar journey, I have a WhatsApp group there as well. Again, it's just reaching out, and my door's always open to anyone who wants to talk or needs
Cool.
help.
Very cool. So do you ever work with women?
I have not now specifically. I target with the men. Of course, back in the day when I was personal training, doing all my nutrition, injury prevention.
Right.
Yes, I worked with many ladies on that sense. But now it's more with the emotional side of things. It's more the men. And I have had this question asked to me before. Actually, is like, why don't you
Okay.
work with women as well? And it's not I don't want to. It's I understand men on a perspective because I am a man. There's things I
Sure.
will never
Exactly.
understand.
Yeah.
There's things I'll never understand about women. The way I mean, I understand the cycle of certain their
Yeah. I know what you mean.
periods, but I'm
Yep.
never going to feel that, and I'm never going to
No.
fully
True.
understand their struggles growing up. I mean, or the struggles they struggle with. Of course, I can understand it from
Exactly.
one aspect, but I'm never going to deeply understand it. So,
I
and
hear
this
you.
is why I position more with working with men on that side of things because I can
So do you
understand that.
have a certain amount of men that you work with at a time, or does
A
that
certain
come
amount
and
of
go?
men.
So no, we're like on your journey. Where do you see yourself going like in 5 years?
That's a good question. In the 5 years, I hope to have my brotherhood at a bigger scale where I can reach more men. I hope to have retreats, and I hope to have some form of training and to educate them in, as I said, like the mind, body, spirit, you could say, but different facets. So in the future, I'd love to have it so they can come on, they can learn like maybe nutrition if that's something they're struggling with, or they can learn about
Nice.
um, somatics, or they can learn about emotional regulation or breath work.
Hmm.
So I'd love to have different ways where they can just, it's like I can use all my education to educate them because, I
Excellent.
mean, the stuff I learned and is tried and tested on real world
Yeah.
people. So I'm not going around saying this is hocus pocus. I've learned it. I've spent the money. I've test run it, and
Yep.
here's a course on how to understand what to eat, or here's a course to understand how to train.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. So I always ask on the Dreamcatcher podcast, when you were growing up, what were your dreams? What did you think you were going to be when you were going to grow up?
Yeah, this is a funny one. I think because back when I was a kid, I used to think as my mum's partner, who wasn't the nicest to me, he used to always want to be an aircraft mechanic.
Okay.
And so I was just like, yeah, I want to be that. This was when under 10 years old. As I got into my teens, I didn't have a clue, to be honest. I had no clue. Um, so it was like I said, it was kind of like I just fell into the fitness industry. Um,
Okay.
and then from there, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed working with people. I enjoyed talking. Um, I enjoyed teaching classes. I enjoyed personal training. I enjoyed being in the environment of the gym. And
Right.
even now, the gym for me is a safe space. Um, so it just kind of snowballed from there. And then that was, at first, it was my dream to then open a studio, which I
Okay.
done by when I was 35. Well, no, it was before I was 35. I opened it at like 33. So I opened that and I reached kind of, I said that was my goal at that point. And then I got
Uh-huh.
to that. And then and I got to a point I didn't really know where I was going because it's like you hit the dream and then you're like, where's the dream after?
That's
So,
true. Yes. Yeah, it
and
is.
it's kind of like I peaked in the fitness industry at that. And I was like, okay. And then I had to make some choices. So I moved on from that and done a bit of traveling. And this is kind of how the the brotherhood started kind of falling together. Um,
Okay.
so that kind of slowly again fell together, and just because I realized as I become more conscious in myself, and I realized like people need help, and it's
Yeah,
not
they
just
do.
on the fitness side. It's not just about losing weight. It's not just about looking good, but they need help. And the more I learned, of course, the more I learned about somatics and breath work and all the energy healing and all these other aspects, I started like seeing like the people I speak to and like obviously men when you travel a bit and people are a bit more open when they're out and about in the world. So I
Right.
started hearing this. I was sitting at a table with I remember sitting at a table with a guy in Goa and we'd only known each other, I don't know, 2 days. And we just
Uh-huh.
started randomly talking about how he felt alone, even though his friends were always around. And then in my head, I'm like, man, I felt the same thing. Like you're with everybody, but you feel alone in the world. So I was just
Yes.
like, okay. And I was like starting to realize, I understand this feeling because I've been there, but I don't feel this
Mhm.
anymore. And I what's changed and I was how have it changed. So I started
Exactly.
reflecting and I was like, okay, if I can relate to this random guy I randomly met, just walking in the street, then, and with my education, understanding, and I was like, maybe I can start helping people more on that aspect and connecting people because I understand that feeling.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it started coming together that way. Um,
Okay.
so again, I think I've kind of most of these things I've kind of fell into in some ways, and
Yeah,
they've
I
just
understand that.
kind of morphed that way.
Yeah. No, I mean, does your wife help you with this? Or does she kind of keep separate from this?
No, no, she's super supportive, and I'm really thankful for that because my head's like spaghetti sometimes.
Well,
Actually,
we all
most of
have
the time.
those days and times, that's for sure.
so, she, so she really helps with kind of pinpoint me down because otherwise I'm like all over the place at times. So
Yeah.
helping me, she definitely helps. She's like this and this and this, and she talks a little bit of sense into me, and I'm like, oh, maybe you're right. She's like,
Excellent. That's
she's like, you're so stubborn. I'm like, yeah, I know.
so have you ever been to the United States?
I have actually. I've
Okay.
been a couple of times.
Okay.
I lived in Hawaii for a couple of
Oh,
months,
nice.
doing
Okay.
some on the Big Island, doing some volunteer work. So I've been all around the Big Island. I've been all
Okay.
around um, Maui also. I've been to Colorado Springs where I
Cool.
studied active release therapy. I was there
Really? Okay. Nice.
for a couple of weeks at their headquarters.
Okay.
As a kid, I was in Florida. I was only like this big though. So I can't remember
Florida's
much
awesome
there.
too.
So, so I've been in the States a little bit, not a huge amount. It's a big country, but I have to say I absolutely love Hawaii. I love Hawaii.
I've never been there, but I think I would too.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm in here in Nebraska, and we're having a great day today. But usually, we can have blizzards and all kinds of stuff like that this time of year. And so far, we're having not too bad of weather. But So, what I mean, with no money's no object. I mean, do you speak in front of people? I mean, like on audiences, live audience?
No, I mean, I'd love to. I started looking into maybe see if I can get on myself onto TEDx, and do some
Nice.
talking on there. So hopefully I'll have to figure out how to get onto there, but I'd love to do something about talking there, talking about different things. I mean, I could go multiple ways. So I'd like to maybe talk in front of that. I haven't ever done anything like that before, but I'd like to give it a try.
Yeah.
Um,
You doing
and
that?
I've been doing a lot of guest podcasts recently,
Okay.
telling my story where I've come from, talking about what I do. Um, so it seems, yeah, I'm getting there slowly but surely.
Okay. No, and I mean, we talked before we started recording that you maybe would like to have a podcast of your own coming up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'd like to have some form of podcast, and we thought about maybe doing one. Me and my wife. She comes from the yoga background, and the Pilates background, um, and she does more like the healing sides when it comes to like obviously because it'll come back to me. It's totally flown out of my head. It'll come back to me. Sound healing. She does a lot of sound healing.
Oh, okay.
Um, and this is kind of her thing she's moving into, and somatic. So we talked about maybe doing something like that. She does that side, and I maybe come in from like the male aspect. There's many things we've talked about, and it's just having the time, as you know.
Oh, yes. Yes, time
So
yeah, especially with all what you're doing, so, I mean, so, pretty much, is everybody you're doing working with now locally to Athens,
no,
or are they
I've got no, there's people, because I've lived in different countries, and I've worked in and lived in a few different countries: Australia, Sweden, Athens, obviously England. I've been in America a
Uh-huh.
little bit. I've been in some parts of Central America. I've been in
Oh,
Indonesia.
wow.
So I've been around the block a little bit. So there is kind of people can come in from multiple areas because they've known me. These are generally, but of course, people can come in from anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just know in fact, I've done past podcasts with men, so many men, especially young men committing suicide, and, I think, it's such a loss, such a shame to get into that mindset, that spot. I mean, so if somebody came to you and had suicidal thoughts, how would you work with them? How do you even start
It's
with somebody like that in that
it's a
mind?
good question. It's a good question. I mean, it yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago, my cousin committed suicide.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
So, I mean, I wasn't overly close to him, but I always struggled. I mean, now I understand my family kind of dynamics. He always struggled a bit with his mental
Yeah.
health. So when I did hear it, it affected me quite a lot because, I mean, coming from my growing up, I've had these thoughts myself, um,
Mm,
but I never really acted on it. So now where I am now, I know that I'd be able to, if I was there, I would have been able to reach out and help him, and I'd connect with him in the fact, like, I understand the pain because I've been there, and I still
yeah.
have these things pop into my head every so often. It's a never ending battle sometimes. Um,
Wow.
so it's like if they are in that state, it's just like for me when I've had these, being in this darkness, it's because I'm
Right.
disconnected. I don't feel like I speak to anyone. I don't feel like anybody knows what I'm going through because you feel alone in this
I
aspect.
bet.
So you feel like if you talk to someone, they won't understand that feeling. So it's
Mhm.
about being sitting in front of you as that person and be like, dude, I totally understand you. I've been there, you know? So it's understanding that
Still
person
there?
and seeing him. Yeah, I'm still here. I think he dropped out. So it's understanding that person when they sit in front of you and they're like, I feel X, Y, Z. I'm like, totally. I've been there. I've been in that pain. It's not the end of the world. It's like, and it's like,
Yeah.
as I said, I've had people sit in front of me and they're like this at the front of their head, the thought. But then
Right.
when you start listening to them and connecting to them on a level where you're seeing them and you come from that experience, it said, I'm not coming from a book. I'm coming from experience. So for me, I can relate because I've been in these aspects. I've been in these dark places. I've been self-destructive. I've been in drinking drug worlds. I've
Mm,
been in the abuse. I've been abused. I've been like, I've had multiple different things over my life. So I can sit back and just be like, I hear you, and I hear you, and
Yeah,
I can. So I just speak as a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm
and I'm
battle
sorry.
scarred.
Mm,
So I
mhm,
think this is kind of where I start. And of
mhm.
course, if someone just sits there and wants, and most of the time it's they want to be heard, and they don't understand that people don't can understand them. They think when I've been in
Yeah,
that state, you don't understand what I'm feeling. Like, and so it makes you isolate even more. So
yeah.
this is the
I'm
way I would
I'm
go.
I'm so glad you're on this path. You have such you have, unfortunately, a lot of, potential people to work with, in this world, very much.
Mm.
So do you I mean, everything you do you journal or would you ever write a book or have you written a book?
This has come up. This it's popped up a few days ago, not a few days ago, a few weeks ago actually, about thinking about maybe I'm not the best at writing. I'm better at talking. So I have thought about it over years, maybe just recording some
Mhm.
things and some maybe chapters and seeing if I can get someone to like kind of bring it together a bit more, my story. Um, So there could be a possibility because as I'm doing more podcasts,
Mhm.
I'm expressing and speaking about some of the trauma,
Right.
a lot of the traumas I've been through, and I'm being quite vulnerable. Um,
Mhm.
and the more I talk about it, the more it actually sheds light onto even more of my uh, past I've gone through, and it's actually in some ways it's quite healing because I'm like, oh man, like
Can see
even though I
that.
thought this was crazy, it makes the light. It makes me understand a lot more from a perspective of an adult.
Yeah. So, I mean, from what it sounds like you've been through, how did you move forward from that? Some people never move forward from I mean, I commend you for doing that. I mean, I think that would be very difficult, but you're like I said, you're doing such good things with what sounds like was kind of a troubled past, or I mean, what?
Yeah,
How do you dig out from that? Mhm.
that is a good question. And I think sometimes when I look back, I'm like, how the hell did I get to where I got to?
Mhm.
Um, and I think, I mean, it's come in chunks. I mean, it's come in chunks. I kind of put my areas down to the first 10 years, the next 10 to 18, and then 18
Okay.
to
Okay.
24. And then there's a few blips around about 30 to 32 where there's been a few issues as well. I think a lot of the time, because have been highly, highly dependent growing up because I didn't have much, but
Okay.
in some ways I didn't have much boundaries, in other ways kind of bad or good, but I also
Okay.
didn't have a lot of, there's a lot of emotional neglect. So I think most of it is because of my independence. I'm stubborn as well. It's kind of
Well,
led me
it can be
through, and
good.
I'm the type of person who learns via doing. If someone says like
Right,
that,
sure.
this like don't pull that thing because X, Y, Z, I'm like, I want to try it, see what happens, you know? I don't know if
I
that's a
hear
good
you.
or bad thing.
That
But
is
for
I think
me,
it's
it's like,
good.
look, my
Yeah.
wife would say otherwise.
I think that's what wives are supposed to do. So, so
Yeah.
do you have any siblings?
No, I don't. Not yet. We may hopefully in the future.
Okay. But no, brothers or sisters. Do you have any brothers and sisters
Ah,
yourself?
sorry. Yeah, I have a brother.
Okay.
He's 4 years younger than me. He's on a very different path to me. He's got his own family. He's got two kids. He's got his wife. They're married. He's redoing his house. He's a manager in like some is in like carpenter firm, so he's like the manager of some carpenters. So he's doing
Okay.
pretty well for himself. Just a
Oh, yeah.
normal person who's just goes to work, comes home, looks after family, X, Y, Z. Whereas my journey's been kind of all over the place.
Yeah, but I think your journey is pretty important. I mean, I think
Mm,
God's got big plans for you, and I mean, He's already implementing them, and I think He has a lot bigger plans coming up, or the universe, or whatever you believe on that. But um, He's using your voice to help a lot of people, and so how many years have you been doing this?
and what the men's stuff or just the
Yeah.
general? The men's stuff is quite. I've niched it down. It's only the last year or so where it's fully niched down.
Okay.
So But I mean, overall, I've been again generally helping people for the past 20 years in some way,
That's
shape, or
excellent.
form. Um, through it, like I said, through injuries or working with chiropractor manipulation or nutrition or again weight loss. There's been multiple facets of different things I've been helping people with. So again, it's as I said, it's all morphed into this
Mhm.
next journey,
Mhm.
as they say.
Yeah. Has a way of doing that. I mean, I can
Mm.
see I can TEDx all of those things. So if I mean, you got your podcast, you TEDx. What would be the ultimate that you would love to accomplish with what you're doing?
I mean, let's say, as you said, I think you mentioned it, if there was money was no issue
Mhm.
in the world, that's a good question. If money is no issue in the world, I would still be in some way, shape, or form trying to give back and helping. I think if I never had to worry about money in my life ever again, and I had, I can just drop money as some people do everywhere, I think I
Right.
would still work with what I'm doing now in some way, shape, or form. I
I can
don't
believe
think
that.
I would ever, I don't think I could ever not do anything and just kind of sit around. I think I'd start some initiation or some education programs or something to help uh, people in some way and giving back.
Mhm.
And I mean, I mean, I have been in a point years ago when I had my studio where I was at a point where I was doing pretty well with money. And sometimes some people come in, it's like, I'm in injury, but I can't afford you. I'm like, look, I'll book you in, I'll do the session for free. Like,
Yeah,
because I can,
love that.
it's like I can. That your extra, that 50 euros is not going to really do a huge amount to me at the moment because I'm okay with money. And so it will
Mhm.
be just that on a larger scale.
Yep.
Um, and to reach
Excellent.
more people, because when you got more money, you can reach a lot more people because you can put all the
True.
marketing things out.
That is true. Very
Um,
true.
so
So
it would be that basically.
excellent. I love that. So do you is it always one-on-one or do you work in group of men or anything like that?
Y- Yeah, yeah. It's not just one to one, of course, one to one online, but we do men's circles as well, bringing people together. In I'm working slowly to bring into retreats as well to bring people together where we can
Nice.
take a week to go through the breath work,
Mhm.
the movements, to connection and men's circles, and just to learn because sometimes it takes a bit longer than just doing one-to-one session. You need a week or something to really immerse
Yeah.
into these things and
Yeah.
to really, because some people come in. I mean, I was one of them when I done my breathwork course. It took me 3 days to fully open up because my body wouldn't let go. And after the third day, yeah, no, I was like, boom, I was completely open. Um, so everyone's different. Some people can just go out there like that, and other people take
Mhm.
time. So
Mhm.
but when you're in, once you learn to be in a safe environment, again, for me, it takes me time coming from my background. It takes me sometimes time to feel safe in a certain environment. So this is
See
another
that.
reason when I was on the course, learning all the breathwork techniques, it took me time to feel safe. Even though my
Yeah.
wife was there doing it with me, it took time for me to feel safe within the capsule
I
of people.
understand that.
And then, when it cracked open, yeah, and I mean, yeah, then I was completely, I mean, then the magic happened. Then
Mhm.
from there, that's when I fully learnt my purpose because they say, you hear these stories where people say they go off and they see this light or they say they meet God or their soul. This actually
Mhm.
happened to me.
Oh,
So,
wow, that's awesome.
so through, this journey is when I knew exactly when I was, because I started asking myself or my soul or God questions. I'm like, where the hell am I here?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, I've questioned myself so much over my life, why I've been put here, have to go through all the chaos I've been through. And he just
Mhm.
turned and like, why don't you just let me ride off into the sunset like I've tried to do through all the drink and drugs? And he's like, your purpose is not finished. You've got to help people. You've got to specifically help men. You've got to make
Yep.
them better. And
Yep.
I was just like, okay. And it's like, and he's like, get your ass back there and get going with it. I was like,
I
okay.
can yeah, I can hear you saying that.
Like, basically. So this is when it
Uh,
started fully. I was like, okay, this is now like the gym stuff and the PT stuff it was my dream. And I'm really good at that and I still do that. But
mhm.
I'm moving this way now because this is my true passion. And
Yep.
this is my purpose in life.
And I can see it. I can definitely see it. And, Yeah, and I'm so glad God crossed our paths. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
me
I'm
too.
very, very much, and I can definitely. He tells me things too. I mean, he's like, "You're gonna." Well, he told me to be on the world stage, and I figured this is a world stage, and at least that's as much as he's showing me so far. And then I'm going to write a book, at least one. He has a way of being
Yeah,
very persuasive. So, but
definitely.
so, well, Keith, you need to come over and do a retreat in Nebraska. I mean, you'd be dead
I would
center of
love
the
to.
United States. Everybody could come to you here. So, no, that would be
I
awesome
mean,
to meet you in person. So,
yeah, you never know. Actually, I'm actually just working with a. I've just started kind of working with a guy. I think he's down. I need to double check where he is, but I think he's down in Texas area or somewhere.
oh, in
I
Texas,
know
okay.
America's a really
I lived in
it's a really
Dallas
big
for a
area.
while. Yeah,
Oh, nice. And
okay.
we're actually putting together. He does an organization actually, helping giving back, and we're putting together a mentor project. And I'm going to be teaching with my knowledge, teaching, and we're giving it out for free. So it's a
Nice,
program where we're giving it back, and
excellent.
it's working. There's still a few moving parts about things, and he's because it's through his organization. It's a free organization. And it's about what I understand, if I remember everything, because there's a lot to go through, is about his we're giving back to the communities within whoever joins within America through his obviously my area as well. And if people we're just going to educate people. So obviously using my education, we're going to teach them, I mean, nutrition. I'm going to go through breathwork, somatic, stress relief, injury prevention, and just
Wow.
give these tools back to people. And whoever joins, hopefully it helps them in some way or shape or form. And you never
Yes.
know. I mean, I'm not sure where that
No.
may lead, but I did talk about, I was like, I'd love to come over and do a retreat or something over there. So you never know. I might end up
Excellent.
in America doing a
You
retreat.
never know. I hope to see you. I really hope to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to come to. I've never been to Greece. Greece looks very beautiful. So,
Yeah.
I've been to Italy, but not to Greece. So, but I would love to come visit you. That's for sure. So,
You're
so
more than welcome.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, Keith, before we end the podcast, anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
I mean, I always like to finish this. I do this with a lot of podcasts, but if you're a man struggling out there and you feel alone, you feel broken, you're in pain, I know the feeling. I've been there, and just reach out. Speak to anyone. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
me. Just reach out to someone. But if you want to speak to
Amen.
someone who will listen, my door's open.
Excellent. You have such a giving heart. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, that is, and then it's kind of hard for men to say that too. We're not brought up that way. And
Definitely, definitely.
I you have I mean, I think you have a pretty beautiful future. Pretty sure, and just kind of
Thank you.
content to tell. So,
I appreciate it.
Keith, thank you for joining us on the Dreamcatcher podcast. We'll end it right there, and we'll be talking soon, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
So, see you later.
Thank you. Goodbye.